Morning, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Love 500, and welcome back to Project Cerys. Today now I've done the painting, which looks superb. Today I am going to do a little bit of cleaning on the car. I am going to polish the paint as well today, but to start with, those seats are covered in sand and dust, so I want to get rid of that. So it's a nice sunny day again today, so I'm going to get the machine out. Although the car is not in sun at the moment, it will be. So I'm going to get the cleaning machine out, get the caution machine out. I'm not going to take the seats out. I'm going to leave them in, give them a damn good clean, get them nice and clean, and then I'm going to park the car out on the road because it gets more sun out there. It's all insured now. I've just got to tax it today, and then we can park it outside and then get it out of the way. So let's get on with it. Let's do it. So yeah, in the daylight again, the following day, that Cerys still looks absolutely fabulous. So we'll get that polished today. As I say, don't actually even need it, but I'm sure over the rear quarter it'll probably need it. I have got a couple of little bits of overspray of primer, which is a bit of a nuisance. I couldn't get it off, so I'm going to have to try and wet sand that. And then polish it up again. It should come, it's only on top of the clear coat, isn't it? So it should come off all right. That's not paint on the tyre, that's sand and dust. Just so you know. And no, your eyes don't deceive you. There is another one. Some of you who've been with me for some time might recognise the registration number. This was Project Rob and Viv. Today we sold this car to a lady up the road, or for her daughter, but I've seen her many times driving it as well. It was a nice one. I think it was a Cat N, which she has a broken hinge. So I'm doing that for her today. I am going to film that on a separate video because I'm always getting people asking me about how to do the hinge, and there are lots of videos out there on YouTube, none of which I've watched. But I know a lot of people take the door handle out to do it, and you don't have to do that. So I'm going to do a video today and show you how to do it. It will probably go all badly wrong, but you know me, I always do a warts and all video. So if I go wrong, that's likely where you'll go wrong. So I'm going to do it anyway. So yeah, I'm going to do that, as I say, separate video. So yeah, don't worry about that for the time being. That'll be whenever, I don't know when I'll be uploading that video. It might even come before this one. So yeah, that's the plan of action for today for this car. We're still waiting. I only ordered it yesterday, the bar, so we can't get that buttoned up properly and finished yet, unfortunately. Once we do that, we can finish off reshaping that bumper. But yeah, need to get those seats clean and give it a bit of a clean inside, so it's a bit minging. I've ordered a couple of different connectors, one from Amazon and one from eBay. Hopefully one of them. It may need a separate live. I don't think it should, because that previous one where I had a Fiat 500 specific connector block, it didn't. It was plug and play. I plugged it in, it took the live from there, and it worked absolutely fine. I have got the pinouts, so I could actually rewire it if need be, or I can just take a live to the cigarette lighter, one or the other. And I am going to take that centre console out because I am actually going to put in an extra USB socket sunk into that, which will be coming in a later video. So I'll do that at the same time, if that's what I do. Anyway, let's get on with it. Let's get the cleaning machine out and get this cleaned. Right, interior is looking better already, actually. I've just hoovered it and most of that dust has come off. It's still dirty, there's black marks on the seats and what have you. And obviously that sand and dust could be deep ingrained, but yeah, looks better already. I thought I asked you about these wheel trims, and most of you, well, those of you that answered that, said yeah, they were all right, actually. So I've given them a clean up, apart from a couple of little scuffs like that, which I might be able to touch up with a bit of paint, possibly. Depends on the colour. I have got these are quite white, and I have got some quite white paint, so I might give it a little blast and see how it matches. Yeah, they come up quite nice, actually. Yeah, like those. So I will put those on. I'm going to park it on the road today, probably, once I've taxed it. So yeah, I'm going to get the car out and get these seats clean now. We're getting there. We are getting there. Those bits of overspray are annoying me. I'm going to have to get rid of those, wet sand those and get them off. Anyway, yeah, I'm hoping the bar's not going to come today, I don't think it's even been dispatched yet. I'm dying to get this front finished. I don't know why. I just want this one finished. I want them all finished. I'll move on to the next. Anyway, patience, Paul. It will happen when it will happen. I've also got to do this as well. I've got to try and find another one of these. Otherwise I've got to paint it. If I paint it, it ain't going to match, is it? I have got some matte black paint, so I'll have a look at that, take it off and maybe give it a paint, but rub it down. I have rubbed them down before, and then rather than painting them, I've wrapped them. But you know, if you wrap that bit, you've got to wrap that bit, and you've got to wrap that bit, and then you've got to do the same on the other side. So I could do without doing that, really. That was just an experiment I tried before. I have got the wrap, but it's a bit like too much like hard work. So hopefully I've got one that I can just replace it. I think I've got one better than that. Not perfect, but better than that. That's that. Always feels like a bit of a mammoth job, but that new stuff I'm using, that liquid, is so much better. It gives the car a really nice fresh smell. It's not a perfume smell, it's just a really nice fresh smell, and it does get the dirt out as well, which is obviously the its main purpose. So you saw me, I took the seat back out just because it was hanging out anyway, so for the sake of 2 bolts I thought I might as well take it out. I've put that in the garden to dry, so obviously that will dry a lot quicker. This isn't in the sun at the moment, I'll just leave the windows open. I've done the rear mat as well, as you saw. Let's have a look at the stuff. I've completely drained that now. Let's have a look. Oh, look at that. Oh, a lot, very frothy. Oh my God, look at that, it's black. Absolutely black. Oh, I could put that on top of me coffee. Oh, it's just a lovely, really, it's got a sort of waxy, not waxy, it's almost like a sort of a cream that you'd put on your skin. It's got that sort of feel about it. It's really quite pleasant, but it's just a lovely, lovely fresh smell. It's really nice. Just to remind you what it is, and I did ask the question if anyone knows on a previous video, and no one actually knew. No one answered anyway. I said, how much do I use? I ain't got a clue. It's this Meguiar's Detailer all-purpose cleaner, D101 as opposed to G101. Someone said, well, you can peel that, it's a sticker stuck over a sticker, which yes, they're quite right, that is, if I can stand the damn thing up. But when you try and peel that sticker off, it rips the whole thing off. I can't, it's the sticker they put over it is too sticky, so you can't actually separate them. So the other one has probably got the concentration that you're supposed to use. Yeah, I might actually, what I might do is I might take that off and soak it in some water, in a bowl of water, see if I can separate them. That might be better. Then I can let you know. But yeah, if anyone knows how much you're supposed to use, I'll just use a glug. Hot water out the kettle, mix it up, hot water out the tap, job's a good one. So what I'm going to do now, it's annoying that we've still got this damn hose pipe ban. I'm going to clean the wheels up just with bucket and sponge, and the tyres, and I'm going to put those wheel trims on. But however, before I do that, I'm just going to polish up the quarter panel and the trim. I'm just going to give that quarter panel a wash down, and then I'm going to get the polish on it and yeah, polish it up basically. And then once we've done that, because I need to get those bits off because that's really bugging me, I need to wet sand that and get some polish that as well. Hopefully that will take that off because it's only sitting on the top. I did use some IPA on it, and I did use some G3, and it got a little bit of it off, but that was my carelessness. But never mind. I'm going to get that polished up, and then we'll get these wheel trims on, and then I think we're done on this car for the time being. I just wanted to point out also, someone pointed this out on, I think it was on the walk around video, and I had noticed, well, I'm sure you've noticed it, do it. So when you shut the boot, oh, it's a right thwack. I think that's a good descriptive word, thwack. And what I hadn't noticed, which someone pointed out, is look at the gap there. The gap there. It's touching the bumper. Now I've had this before, hence the thwack. I think I had this on the Abarth actually, on the white Abarth. And as someone quite probably correctly pointed out, I reckon, and they reckon, that the centre bracket, if the bumper's not sitting in that centre bracket correctly and it's too high, then that's what happens. Now bearing in mind I came to the conclusion this is an aftermarket rear bumper, and I did get a bit worried at one point and thought, I wonder what's hiding underneath. So I got a torch, crawled underneath and had a look, and it's fine. I was wondering whether it would be crunched in, but it's not. But what I'm going to do anyway, because of that, I'm not leaving that like that. No way, Jose. I am going to take the bumper off. I'm not going to do that now, but I'll probably be on the next video. But I'm going to take the bumper off and refit it, and hopefully that's the reason. And then if it's quite easy to do. I've done it numerous times. It's very easy to not get that in the correct place. So we'll make sure we do that. It's strange that you've got an aftermarket bumper without that bit for the black bit. Now I have got that black bit, as you know, and I will stick that in when I do that. But as I say, that'll be on the next video. So yeah, let's get polishing. Right, that's all polished up now. I got that off. It took some doing actually, wet sanding it, but it came off. The bit on the door came off easy, but the bit on the wing was a little bit more stubborn. Yeah, cut and compound on that soon brought it back. So that's all done. That's all polished up. It's all yeah. There was no orange peel in that new paint whatsoever. It is as smooth as the factory bodywork. I can, if I look for it, I can see a different colour. Just. It's a very, very slightly creamier shade, but unless you're looking for it, you wouldn't notice it. I don't think it shows up on the camera, but you can, at a certain angle, you can see it. But there's nothing I can do about that. Short of painting the entire wing and blending the door and all that, I'm not doing that. But yeah, I don't think anyone will notice it, to be fair. And that is the paint that I'm going to paint the bumper in, of course. The new bumper, not this one, but the new bumper that I've got. So we'll see how that comes out as well. But yeah, no, I'm pleased with it overall. Yeah, as I say, it wasn't my filling, and that isn't 100%, I have to say, but it's pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. But that's that. So the wheels are all clean, tyres are clean. So I'm just letting that dry, and I'm just going to whack some temporary tyre black over it, and then just put those wheel trims on. They're absolutely sparkling, those wheel trims. They've come out really nice. So those should look quite good. So I mean, we're a long way off of this being dry. A long way off. We haven't got any sun here at the moment. I think the sun's starting to come round. So hopefully it will dry off by the end of the day, but it might not. Anyway, that's it for a minute. Just visiting a previous project. As I was round this way, I thought I'd come and have a look, make sure it was being kept clean, which it is, I'm pleased to say. Right, a few days has passed. Got the new bar. So yeah, the weather's been, there's a nice little bit of blue sky over there, but there's a little bit of rain in the air. So it is Saturday. I don't normally do the work on a Saturday on the cars, but I wanted to get this done. I'm eager to get this done. So I'm going to get the front bumper off, get this bar on, and then hopefully put the front bumper back on with the DRLs wired up, and that'll be it. It'll be on and staying on. Woo, fingers crossed. There you go, perfect. It's gone on lovely this time. So that, all that grief I had earlier on in this video, all down to that. I mean, obviously I came to that conclusion before, but yeah. Yes, done, that's good. So I just need to get it all buttoned up now, or better check the lights, make sure they work still, before I do it all up, because if they don't work, I have already checked them, but just as I've reconnected the connectors, you never know, so I just want to check, because it's a lot easier to change them with the bumper off. But yeah, that's good. So I just need to get all the bolts in. I don't know if you noticed during the time lapse, but all of a sudden it absolutely tipped it down with rain. Sun's coming out again now. Good old British weather. I was going to touch paint up, but can't do that now, it's raining. But yeah, it all fits nicely now, really nicely. So yeah, I'll get all the bumper all buttoned up, and oh, that's what I needed to do. That badge is not straight, is it? I'm just going to whip that off quickly again and straighten that badge up. I forgot about that. Right, that's all buttoned up now. All the bolts are all done up. I haven't shut the bonnet yet to make sure it lines up. If it doesn't, obviously I'll just adjust the top ones just to bring it in or out, whatever needs doing. But I think it was all right actually as it was when it was on before, so I don't think it's going to need much in the way of adjustment, if anything. So that's done now. DRLs are all working fine. Only thing I've got to do under here, this is as usual broken. I'm not going to do it now because it's all wet, so I'll wait until it's actually I'll get it out and dry it off and do it, then I can put it back on tomorrow. That's all. These things are always a bit loose. I might chuck some washers in there just to pad it out a little bit, and then we're all done under here. Front of it's already done, so what else have we got left to do? So my seats are all nice and clean and dry. As some of you commented, some of you said you thought these wheel trims were all right, and so did I, until such time as I put them on the car. And because they are very white and the car is more of a creamy white, they stick out like a sore thumb. They don't look good. So I have got 2 or 3 proper ones, but I've ordered a set of fake ones that look like the proper ones. They came today, however I was out, and so the postman's taken it back to the sorting office, so I won't get them till Tuesday now, which is a bit of a pain. But I'll put them on. I still got to have a little bit of a extra fiddle with that bumper. It's not too bad. It just needs a little bit more work, which I'll do before I put the arch liner on. So the only other thing we've got to do is that. So I've got to find one of those, do that. Obviously it needs a damn good clean. And stereo. So I have got one of them in the, excuse the bird noise. So one of them is in the car, which is the one. Is it that one? Yeah, I think that was the one I bought. So I got one from eBay and I got one from Amazon. Both of them have arrived now, so I'm going to try one and then I'm going to try the other one. As you can see on here, the yellow and the red are done with some sort of bayonet connector of some sort. So if I need to swap the yellow and the red around, I can. So I'm hoping one of these two will work, because then what I'll do is I'll make sure hopefully I'm hoping they're both going to work, and then I can get some more of these for when I do this in future. So these are specifically for a Fiat 500. They are different to the one that's the other one, sorry, this is specifically for a Fiat 500, and so is the other one I bought, which is in the garage. I'll show you that in a minute when we get in the car. Yeah, fingers crossed they're going to, one of them is at least is going to work. So we could do that now. Actually, I'll put the bonnet down for the time being, and then we'll get in the car and we'll have a look, see if we can get it to work. Action. Right, okay, so so this is the lead I got. I can't remember which one's eBay and which, I think this is the eBay one. I don't know what this blimmin' long orange wire is. There was no explanation on it as to what it was. So on this one, we got a yellow, a red and a black. So obviously we know what that is. We got a permanent live, a switch live and an earth. And these ones are presumably the speakers. So which one shall I try first? Let's try this one first. So, right, okay. Now that presumably plugs into there, like so. I'm hoping this just plugs into the stereo and it works. That's what I'm hoping. Fingers crossed. Let's try it. Let's push it back. Oh, let's plug the aerial in. I may have to mute the music if it starts, but if it works, I'm just going to pop it in there for a second. Turn the ignition on. Where's the keys? Fingers crossed. Now I sort of expected that to come on. I'm not even sure what the on button is. No, nothing. Nothing again. No, I don't. I say I know this stereo works. I don't. Although we heard, no, it wasn't this one, was it? It was the snow. What was the one that we heard the CD mechanism coming on? That was that other Pioneer one, wasn't it? So that don't work. So let's try the other one first. And if that don't work, then what I'm going to do is try swapping over the yellow and the red, because we know what that does. It just swaps over the live. You've had to do that to stereos since the beginning of time. I remember doing that back in the 80s when I installed stereos in my Ford Capri and my Ford Escort, and probably my Fiat X19 that I had back then as well, a nice gold one. Now I'm not quite sure what's going on with this great big thing. This is rather peculiar, this one. Don't know what it is. So is that supposed to go in there? I don't know. I have no idea what this is. It's a really peculiar thing. So I'm not even sure whether we have to use the lead from... No. I don't know. I do not know. So where the hell do they... So we've got one's going to be speakers, one's going to be power. But where do they go? So this is the one that came with a stereo, which is a generic one. I think a generic one. I mean, this one sort of fits, but doesn't seem to do anything. And I'm not quite sure what I'm supposed to do with these. So that has only got power on that. That's got to be the speakers. But there's only one socket in the back of it, so that is as good as useless. And this says on the invoice, Fiat 500 ISO converter, but that does not in any way, shape or form fit that. Unless, is it you're supposed to do that into that? Let's try that. Are they the same? So that would have the less plugs on it. So that into there. Oh, maybe this is how you do it. I hope I'm picking this up. That into there. And then what? That doesn't go in there, does it? That doesn't work, fitting that into there. Is that supposed to somehow go in there? I don't know. I don't know if it does. I don't know which way around it goes. It's not like a proper... Oh, this is stupid. This is really stupid. That doesn't go in there at all. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know if that's supposed to sit in there. It doesn't seem a very tight fit. Let's plug it in and see what it does. It's come out, it's fallen out already. This is bloody stupid. I don't... It's like there's something missing. So there's the... Right, there's our 3, there's our power wire there, our power and earth at the top. So where are power and earth on this? There. No. I don't know. I don't know which one. They're not. They don't seem to be colour coded as you'd expect. They don't seem to go in any way. Stupid. Absolutely ridiculous. It doesn't fit. How is that an ISO lead? I've never seen anything like this before. It's just crazy. So that's useless. So what I'm going to do with this one instead, I'm going to swap over, if I can. Try to. Yeah, so I'm going to swap over the yellow and the red on this and see if that helps. So we want to go yellow to red. As I say, that's normally what we have to do a lot of times on third-party stereos. And then yellow to red. Try that. See what happens. This will be the most convenient way of doing it. Right, that's in. Plug that in there. The right way around would help. Push that back in now. Nothing. You know what, I'm not convinced this even works, this stereo. I don't know. I sort of expected power to come onto it. I'm going to end up putting the ordinary stereo back in this at this rate. It just don't work. I'm going to go and get that Pioneer one, try that. Pioneer one, the Sony one. So I don't think that's just an ISO converter. It's not a specific one to Pioneer. But it just don't seem to do anything. Alright, okay, I'm going to have a little fiddle around with this, see if I can figure it out, and I'll come back. So for the time being, yeah, cut. Right, as you can see, we've had a little bit of meter measuring and cutting wires and all sorts of things yesterday. I was after I finished filming yesterday when it didn't work, I thought to myself, I tried to think back to the previous one in Project Jackie that I did, and I had a look at the video this morning, and I am right in thinking that the last one was plug and play. Now when I looked at it almost looked like the lead. This is the lead that came with it, and it also looked, it seemed to look like that was the actual lead that was used in it. But I think what it must be is it must be the pins that are in a different place. Now I haven't looked at this one, but on the one that I bought, which is still plugged into the stereo wherever it is, no it's not, what have I done with it? It's around here somewhere. I don't know what I've done with it now. Oh, it's on the floor of the car. I was swapping yellows and reds around, and then I remembered that we had that in the car. I also thought to myself, well down there underneath that we've got 3 wires. We've got an earth, still got the probe in there. We've got an earth, we've got the grey and red wire, which is the ignition live, and we've got the yellow wire, which is a live, which is on the light. So that's an illumination for that. Now the illumination works. The other one did, but I think I've blown a fuse, because with these connectors, is this the right stereo? No, this is the Sony one, but I think I've still got that. No, that's the other one. Where is it? Hang on. I'm getting confused now as to which one's which. I can't find the other. Where the hell's it gone? Bear with me a second while I find. Oh, I can see it. There it is. It's on the floor. Right. So this is the one that I bought, and as you say, I've been disconnecting the reds and the yellows and what have you, trying to figure it out. So what I think I might do is try using the one that's on it. But what I did, because of these bullet connectors, what I was doing, I got some cable, some of this cable, and I stripped the ends, and I was just poking the wires in the ends, and I had got it working, and then all of a sudden one of those wires came out and touched the casing, and I think it's obviously blown the fuse. It sparked. and then I think it's blown the fuse. So I've got to try and figure out what fuses it is. So we're going to have a look in the book, or have a look in the legend on the fuse box, and I'm also going to trace where that goes to, because that also had power and now doesn't. I think it had power. Actually, I'm not sure it did. So that we know that's connected, but whoever took the old stereo out when this car was written off, I'm assuming that it's they've just yanked it, and it may have even yanked the fuse out that end. It may have blown the fuse. I'm assuming it's on a piggyback fuse down there. So I'm going to take that out and have a look in there as well. So let me have a look at these fuses first. We'll see if we can change some fuses, and then we'll take that out. I checked all of those fuses. All okay. Checked all of those fuses. And then I checked that one, which is a 15. And as you can see, it's gone. So luckily, recently, when I did the last car, I bought this because I didn't have any of the big fuses. This includes big and small, and I've got one here, which is good. So we'll put that one in, and then that should take care of it. Hopefully. Let's throw away that other one. Right, so that should now mean I've got power. So what I'm going to do is, as far as I know on here, the earth, I think the earth is going to be okay. I just need to trace the wires back. We have to assume that the black is the earth. So I just need to see where they are on the pins. And then, as I say, I might use this one, because this is the one that came with it. And the plug fits, it's just the pin outs. So I'm just going to follow the pins, and then I'm going to cut. Well, actually, I don't even need to follow the pins, do I? I know that I could cut the wire there. I don't really want to do that. So I'd rather run wires to the fuse box and to there, and I was going to run some other wire to there anyway. As I said to you before, I'm going to put an extra thing in there with USB sockets. I'm going to sink it in there, which will come on another video, but I needed to take it out to do that anyway. But I just wanted to wire this in for the time being. So yeah, I'm going to experiment, mess around. I'll take that out, run some wires, and then we'll come back, and we'll hopefully see if it works. Right, I've just disconnected that. It was in there, and here it is. I've just taken one fuse out, which was this one, which, if I can focus on it, there you can see it's gone. So I replaced that fuse. So I don't know if I did that, or whether that was already done when the person, oh, that's just fallen out, when the person took their stereo out. But we'll replace that fuse, we'll plug it back in, and then we'll see if we can get this wired up. I think it'll work now. I think it's just something to do with the original loom. I was just lucky, I think, with that previous one, that it came from a Fiat 500. Whereas this one is a generic one. But, you know, I've bought Fiat 500 ones. One of them bears no resemblance to a Fiat 500 plug whatsoever. And the other one doesn't work the same as this one doesn't work. So, yeah, no further forward, really. I'm assuming this one is going to work, but hopefully it will. We'll try it anyway. I haven't got any of these bullet connectors, unfortunately. I've got the male one. I haven't got any female ones, so I'm going to use the old solder joints instead. Right, we're at the point of trying it now. Well, we've got to connect it up, of course. So let me just explain what I've done. So I have taken the wire from, so this is the plug that goes into the back of the stereo, okay? So obviously that includes, we've got the red and the yellow, which have disconnected from there because they're in the wrong place. We've connected the yellow from the plug to there, and that goes down and comes out here. And I've connected that up to the ignition live on the cigarette lighter. The red, sorry, where's the red gone? The red is connected there and is the one that was already in the car, so I've left the bullet connector on it. Comes down to here and goes to here, and I've replaced the fuse. I'm going to plug that back in a second. On here, you may have noticed that I've connected an extra wire. The reason I've done that is because the extra wire is going to be for the other USB socket that I'm going to sink into the center console. As I say, that will be on a separate video. We'll do that later. So all I need to do now is plug that in, plug that into the stereo, and hopefully it'll work. So I'm going to plug that all in, and then we'll come back, switch it on, see what happens. Battery's disconnected at the moment, by the way, so we'll reconnect that in a second. I just need to put a bit of tape over that for the time being, because I'm not using it. Actually, I'll just cut it off for a minute, because I don't want that earthing out or anything like that. And blowing the fuse again, I've already blown the fuse once. Right, let's do it. See you in a sec. Okay, I've set it all up, I've tested it, it does work. The reason I haven't shown you it yet is because that the radio's not working, but I think the plug on the end of the actual car, I think, got damaged at some point, because when I took that extender thing out, you know, the thing that you have to put in to make it work, the pin on the end of the bit on the car was stuck in the end of the adapter, so I think it's come off. I'm getting no signal whatsoever, so I hope I've got one, so otherwise I'm going to have to try and solder it back on, take it apart and solder it back on if I need to. But I've discovered that live down there, which is, I forgot which position it is now, I need to look at my sheets, but that one there, which is third one down, is actually the ignition live, not a permanent live. So I've basically got two ignition lives, which is no good, because obviously none of your memory will save. So I need to find another live on there, and I can't remember which one is a permanent live. So I need to look at me books and swap them over. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll sort out that aerial. We'll try to, and then we'll come back yet again. There you go. So I put it on LBC, so I'm not having any music playing. All seems to be working fine now. I've sorted out that aerial. It was broken. It was broken off. So I found the other one that I had. Let me just turn this volume down. So I replaced the one that I had, and it works fine now. So that was actually snapped off completely. I probably could have soldered it back on, but as I had one, I thought I might as well just put a new one on. So as you can see, I've joined it there with the solder joints. I'll wrap that up in tape and get that all back. I've tested to make sure that it's keeping the stations, so it seems to be, and the sound settings, it seems to be, the permanent live seems to be correct now. And I have actually put that on to the second one down on the left hand side, which I haven't got it to hand. I think it's the one that's on the OBD port, and if this was a lounge, it will be the Blue and Me. So it is a permanent live. Is it the Blue and Me? No, maybe not the Blue and Me, but it's certainly the OBD port, and I think it might be the internal lights as well. I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, second one down on the left hand side, piggybacked onto that, and that is, I tested it, and that is a permanent live. Okay, so if I just turn it off, then that should keep my settings. Let's reconnect. I'm not sure whether you have to switch it back on yourself. So I haven't set the clock actually, so I need to check to make sure the clock is being, if I set the clock actually, and then that will be the tester as to whether it's keeping the time. Put it on radio, and it's not keeping the radio, so then maybe they need to swap over. I think possibly the yellow needs to go to there. I can't swap them over because I haven't got any of these. I need to get some more of those. That's really a nuisance. Let me see what happens when it loads the app. So yeah, I don't know about that. I'm not sure whether I need to swap them around or not. I think the tester is to set the time. If I set the time on it, and then if it loses the time, then we know for definite. But it should, by rights, shouldn't it? Although I'm not saving it on there, it should retain the previous setting. Because if you were using it without the phone, I'm not sure how you save settings, but we'll have to have a look through. Anyway, we'll come back. We'll get this sorted one way or the other. We'll figure it out, and yeah, I'm sure we will. Right, it's done. It's been a bit of a palaver, I have to say, but I managed to get it figured out in the end. So we've got it down here. As I say, we've got one on the second one down, and then the other one on the third one down. If we can get in there, show you. So I'm trying to remember which way around it is now. I think that one, I can't remember, I don't want to tell you wrong, but one of them is live, one of them is ignition live. I've forgotten which one's which now, but yeah, they're working. It's working fine now. It's keeping the memory, which was the problem before I swapped them over, and they seem to be okay now. I have to remember that for in future. So I think that's the one that's connected to the yellow, I think. So I think that one. Oh, I don't know which way around it is. God. It took some messing around with the meter and whatever, just try and figure out which one was which, but we got there in the end. I should have made a note of it for future reference, but I know it's those two. So I not abandoned, but because I was trying to swap them over and figure out, it was easier just to disconnect it from there and do it there. But you know, it's not wasted doing that, as I said, because I'm going to run the cable for the USB slot, which will come on the next video. So I'm going to put all this back together now. Did I show you? There it is. Looks quite smart, and it actually fits in nicely as well. The cage fits very, very snugly within the cage that's part of the car, and it snaps back firmly. So you probably even have a trouble getting it out. But yeah, well, obviously, hopefully there's no reason to get it out. But it seems to be working absolutely spot on, which is really good. So I've got to run the cable for the microphone, and then I'll tape up the wires out of the way, get the tray back on, and then that's that bit done. And then we can move on to whatever else is left. And I'm trying to think what it is. Is this the one with the boot that don't shut properly? It is, isn't it? Yeah, so that's another thing. That will come on the next video. We've got to get this boot off. Get this boot off, get this bumper off, and refit it so the boot shuts properly, or without that clanking noise, clonking noise. Because I did actually notice something else the other day. That light's not in properly. I guess it's whoever put this on has just not put it in properly. I might actually have a look at that in a minute, but actually no, I won't bother. There's no point. It's got to come out when I take that off. So I'll do that next week. But yeah, as I say, that'll be on the next video. So let's get all these bits and pieces back together, and then I think we'll probably end the video there. Actually, let's do it. Right, that's all back together again, and the microphone is up here, all ready to use. It's all run up the back of there, all nice and neat. Yeah, it's good. Like it. So I got the box with this one as well, which I didn't have before. The faceplate goes in, and it's all sitting in there nicely. Yeah, I like that. Pleased with that. So everything is down here. I've cleaned that up. It was absolutely rotten. All ready now to install the. I'll show you it actually. This is it here. It all lights up, and I'm just going to sink it in there. I just got to figure out what size drill bit to do. I'll probably use a step drill on that, I imagine. Try and make a nice neat hole, hopefully. Yeah, so that's it for this video, I think. What we got left to do, we got that to do, which will be on the next video. I may even do a how-to video on that, because I think that would be quite useful for people. New wheel trims will be coming. We'll give them a clean up. Get them on. They'll look much better than these. I've really gone off these now. I think they look alright on a coloured car, but not on a white car. We've got to do. I have got to adjust this wing slightly because the gap's wrong, and I don't know if you just heard that noise, but it's slightly catching on the wing as the door opens and closes. So that wing has got at the bottom got to move out slightly, which is not a problem because some of the bolts are still up loose. We've got to have another go at that. Got to replace this or paint it or do something with it, and then we've got to do this back bumper, and then a good clean up, and that's it then. All be done. Cam belt's done, isn't it? It's serviced. It's got a full tank of petrol. Yeah, just a real good clean up. Inside's been I've just got to, obviously I've done the seats. I've got to go over the oh, that's getting worse, that. I'm sure that's getting worse. Go over the plastics, get all those done, put that back. Obviously we spoke about that. I think that's pretty much it really, and then it'll be done. But I need to get on with the blue one as well, because I need to get that in for an MOT. So yeah, well pleased with it. So when we get the new stereo next time, we get another one of these stereos, which we will do. We'll try the loom that comes with it. If it doesn't work, we know then that we've got to run a permanent live and a switch live, which we'll do. We know where they've got to go, even if we have to swap them over. I think the yellow goes to the permanent live, I think. I'm not sure which way around it is, but you can swap them around quite easily once you've got those piggyback fuse holders on. It's quite easy once you've got those. And I know where to put them now. Second one down on the left, third one down on the right. Or was it the other way around? I can't remember. Anyway, that's it. So we'll be back next week to get this finished off. So until then, thanks for watching. As always, if you're not a subscriber, hit the button. Hit that subscribe button. We have now just tipped the 6,000 mark. Thank you very much for everybody that's subscribed to the channel. Those of you who aren't, next goal is 7,000. Help me get there. Hit that subscribe button. But as always, thanks for watching. Take care, stay safe, and we'll see you soon.